So we're starting in standing Tadasana, the mountain pose. Feet solid onto the earth with a slight softness to the knee. And you're taking the top of the thighs back, engaging the belly and lifting up through the spine with hands open as we reach and we are inviting the sun into our practice this morning. Taking a nice deep breath. Just feeling the spring air awaken and alive in our body and bring the breath all the way down into the belly with soft knees and connected feet. Top of the head reaching up for the ceiling, for the blue sky. And then opening up your eyes and swinging your arms all the way up so that they're coming over your head. And we're going to exhale and fold. Shins forward, thighs back, head down towards the floor, arms swing out to the side as we inhale all the way back up again. And exhale and fold. Let the knees be soft, bend them. Take the top of the thighs back. Head down towards the floor, feet solid onto the floor, and swing the arms open as we invite the spring all the way back up. Clasp your hands, palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale over to the left as we inhale all the way up, and then exhale right as you breathe into the side body. Inhale up, exhale left. Inhale up and exhale right. And inhale up and softly allow your arms to come all the way back down to the thighs, and then bring the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. And then from the back to the front. Good. And then let your arms go out into an A position. Swing, your hands are stretched. And create a large circle going up and around. Again, breathing in one level and then exhaling the other. Make sure your knees have not locked. We want the energy to go right down to the feet. Inhale up, exhale around. Inhale up and exhale around. A couple more times. Inhale up. It's like we're spreading our butterfly wings. Good. And then come back to center and shake it out. The nice deep breath. Okay, so arms are going to reach all the way up. Exhale and fold. Head down towards the floor. Right leg back into a runner stretch. And breathing in, taking the left hip back towards the wall behind you. Breathing in. This is where we really have to kind of think about the bottom tips of the rib cage going up to the spine, lengthening up towards the spine. But again, solid feet onto the floor. Bring your right foot up to meet the left. Head down towards the floor. Arms swing out to the side as we inhale all the way back up again. And then exhale, fold. This time, inhale halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold and take the left foot back into the runner stretch with a nice deep breath. Left heel up towards the ceiling and then left heel back to the wall behind. Right hip towards the wall to behind you and extend through the spine. Watch if the rib cage isn't dropping down towards your thigh. Keep the bottom tips of the rib cage up. Lengthen through the spine. With a nice deep breath into the stretch. And then bring your left up to meet the right. Head down towards the floor. Arms swing out to the side as we inhale all the way up. Hands going to pray over your head and then down to the heart. And breathe. A nice deep breath. And then opening up your eyes. Let's come into a Pasarada Padottanasana. Feet parallel to one another. Don't have to go wide here. I want you to really feel the hug into the midline. Hands onto your hip. Little toe mound down onto the floor. Exhale forward. Not exhaling forward, but make sure your knees are soft. Inner groins go back. Here is the hip stretch. Good. Hands onto the floor. And you're going to lengthen through the spine. Just kind of notice if the bottom tips of the rib cage are are beginning to go towards the earth, bring them up towards the spine. Bend your knees generously, take the top of the groins back. This is a really big stretch. And we can only really do in the springtime this quick into the class. I wouldn't even try to do this in winter. Bend the knees, top of the groins back, bottom tips of the rib cage in. It's a ton of work. Now bring your hands forward. So we're going to move into a Pasarada dog. Head down towards the earth. Head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back. Your head is right between your upper arm. And again, play this a little bit. Bend your knees, inner groins back. Bottom tips of the rib cage up, so you're really lengthening the spine. Breathing in. Nice deep breath right into your stretching inner groins. And then walk your hands all the way back to center. Press into your feet to inhale your hands up onto your waist and then all the way back up. Whoo, yeah. Good. Heel toe. Oh yeah, inner groins. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, couldn't do that in the winter. All right, so we're just gonna kind of hip hop. Hip hop on the toes. We're getting the toes ready for sandals. Just kind of, and make sure your ankle isn't doing anything funky. Just that it's solid, allowing you to press. Now press into the fullness of your toe mounds and bringing the heel down. And you may, if you're having this inner leg issue, you want to really watch how you are coming down on your feet. So when you're walking, are you missing one of the rolls through the feet? You should be going from the outside to the inside and pressing off of the toes as you are walking. And we'll have more of that in sandals for sure. Good. And then shake that out. All right, so let's move right into a tree pose. Let's just do a little exercise here. Coming onto the tiptoes on the right side. Keep your right hip solid. Don't come into a sitting into your hip. You want to lift up, engage your belly, lift up through the spine. Knee forward, knee out, and then in. Hands on your hips. You're just moving the knee. Nothing else is moving. And back in, out, in, out, in. And this time you're going to go out and up. Maybe coming to the top. Yeah, coming to the top. Don't go to the knee. Whatever you do, don't go to the knee because you want to press the foot into the leg. Leg kisses back to the foot. Add your arms up. You're going to wiggle and wobble just like the branches of a tree in the wind. It's okay. That's how we learn to balance. Nice deep breath. Arms out or temple. Whatever works for you. And then release and come all the way back and shake that out. Woo! All right. Now stand on the right, tiptoe left. And knee out. And back, and you're going to notice one side is always easy. Do the little exercises first. Knee out, come back in. Just kind of check the mobility in your knee. In your hip joint. Letting the knee go out, back, back. Just a few more times. Out, back. Last time, out. Now, position. Ooh, at this side, I always have to go a little bit careful. Here we go. Good. Then find your tree. Press foot into leg, leg into foot. It's an active position. One that has to keep getting reinforced. Finding the midline. Good. And then release and come all the way back and shake that out. All right. Now I think I'm ready to release one of my layers anyway. It's a little cool in here. All right, here we go. Nice deep breath. All right, so here, right leg forward, left leg back. So, little toe mound down, talking right knee. What I want to do is, I was going to work this anyway, and now it's going to hopefully help you. Bend into the right knee, but really press into your feet to straighten the knee. And don't go to the hyperextended place. You see how dead that knee is? I want to feel and see the energy moving right down to the foot. You want to feel that. You know, if you have to go to the hyperextended place and the bent knee place and find what is in between, then do that exercise. And remember, as you practice, everything changes a little bit. So you kind of have to relearn that part of your body. Good. Arms are going to reach all the way up and you're clasping your thumbs. Good. Now bend into the knee slowly. So we're finding that place where the knee is tracking over the ankle. Top of the left thigh is back. It's not coming forward. It's back. And you're going sideways to begin with. So you're just reaching over the knee with your torso, at the same time pressing that energy in the little toe mound of your foot. Now you're rotating the torso so that your torso is now parallel to the floor, and you're looking down at your right toe and breathing in. Still keeping that stretch in your leg, your lower back. Good. Come back to parallel again to the long side of the mat. Open up to Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Hands onto your hips and heel toe your way all the way back to Tadasana and shake it out. Nice deep breath. All right, other side. Left foot forward, right foot back. Remember, your heel and arch are in alignment with one another. Now you got to watch your hip wants to collapse. We're not going to do that. You're taking it back, which means, how do you know you've got it in the right place? Is that your little toe mound is actually really pressing down. Here, my toe mound is lifted. Here, my little toe mound is stable. I want that stability. Good. Then just press again into the knee to find it straight, not hyperextended, somewhere in between bent and active. And then bend the knee. Good. Make sure your torso is in line so your rib cage isn't coming out either. We just want that strong sense of hugging the midline. Good. And we're going to bend the knee this time. Arms reach all the way up. Clasp your thumbs. Good. No two sides are the same. So you're going to breathe into the stretch, taking your hands and your torso over your left leg. And just make sure your torso isn't rotating yet, that you're keeping that big stretch. Now rotate the torso so that you're looking down at your foot. You're stretching the lower part of your back, breathing in, and then release. Come all the way back to the first position, Parsvakonasana. Open up to Virabhadrasana 2. Woo! Here we go. Hands on your hip, heel toe all the way back. Good. All right, so remember, you gotta always watch that you're not doing this. It's very subtle. You really want that low back curve. That's part of what gives you your lower back issues, is this little thrust. So bringing that back, lifting all the way up. Okay, so coming back to Kasarada Padottanasana, maybe going a little bit wider this time. Bend your knees, come onto the floor, hands onto the floor. And if for some reason, those that may be watching this cannot really touch the floor, take a block. But ground your hands, whether it's on the block or on the floor. Bend into the right knee. Inhale up, bend into the left. Inhale up. Now it's very easy for the bottom tips of my rib cage in this position to move down towards the floor. So I'm conscious of what that feels like in my body. It's a little bit of a disconnect at my diaphragm. So I'm bringing that up. Part of that's the Uddiyana Bandha. Bring that Uddiyana Bandha up towards my spine. Now I'm reaching again. Now go as far as you can here. Bend into the knees, take the inner groins back. Rib cage, bottom tips of the rib cage up. And breathe deeply. Bring your breath all the way down through your body to your feet. It's all about moving the breath, moving the energy, making the connection. See if there are dead zones in your body. We want to liven up those dead zones, especially during the spring when everything is opening and expanding. And then walk your hands all the way back to center, hands on your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up again. You're really doing that a lot better, Mary Lou, with the back nice and strong and long. Do you feel a difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
I try to keep it in mind with the stomach and the rib cage.
Yeah.
Ever since I worked with you in, January,
Yeah.
I've been trying to remember that. I forget, but I try to keep that dialed in.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that was like a miracle.
It's amazing, like when you bring your awareness to what is moving in your body and what isn't moving, that really begins to tell you something. All right, so
Yeah.
you're gonna go back to right leg, we're gonna bend, but this time I want you to hold on to the inside of your knee. I want you to press your knee into your hand into your knee. Now, see what happens here? This is when I'm not really pressing. This is when I'm pressing, I can rotate more. Can you see that? So you want to rotate, not necessarily a twist, but we want to lengthen, we want to use the length through the spine and rib cage in, add your arm, hug knee to hand to knee. You're really hugging it. Now hold that hand to knee, knee to hand as you lengthen and straighten the right knee. Nice deep breath. Let's bring the hip of the arm bone up and back. Good. Coming into a high trikonasana. Now bend your knee. Keep your hand and your knee connected. Help it. Let it help you rotate the torso a little bit more. Good. Then inhale. Come all the way back up. Like spring loaded. I was like spring loaded here. And then bring your hands onto your hips and just bring your heel tap all the way back. Shake that out. Nice deep, yeah. Yeah, just, it's kind of like a reinforcement of the midline. And when you can get the parts of your body to work together, that really strengthens the midline. So that you've got a lot of connecting inward lines moving from the inside of your leg to the top of your head. All right, so other side with a nice deep breath. So we're just kind of bending in. Again, little toe out onto the floor. Hand to the inside of the knee. Now, you want to press your knee into your hand into your knee. You're holding that line. Then allow that to do your, this is me not doing this. When I'm hugging in, I have more power to rotate. And that's what I'm looking for, the length and the rotation. Now add your right arm up, the nice deep breath, to Kaparsvakonasana. Then you're straightening the left knee. You're opening up the right arm, coming into a high trikonasana. Hand to knee to hand, rotate up, take the top of the right thigh back. Woo, deep breath into your back body. Good, ooh, couple pops. And then inhale and come all the way back up. And heel until you wave back to center and shake it out. On that side, I got some pops in my back. Oh Lord, all righty. Okay, so let's come into a little bit more of opening up the hips by coming into standing fore pose, standing. So you're gonna come onto a tippy toe on the right, bring the right ankle up, hold with the top with your left leg, take the top of the thighs back. Now again, kissing ankle to knee, knee to ankle. And then let the arms come up. And you're counterbalancing the weight of your hips, your rib cage in, you're hugging between your hands and pressing your hands forward. Ooh, and then inhale, good. And then come all the way back up, hug it. It's that same hugging in. Shake that out. Nice deep breath. One more time, other side. So we're gonna tiptoe onto the right, left side, stand on the right. Take a nice deep breath all the way down into the belly. Just kind of prepare yourself for this balance. Left foot up, top of the thighs back. Gaze down towards the earth, hands go up. Breathing in, a nice deep breath. Standing fore pose. Whoops, I just came out of it. And coming back. So we come in, we come out, we come in, we come out. Good. And then inhale and come all the way back up and shake that out. All right, coming all the way down onto a table pose. Fingerprints down, back of the palm, knuckles down, curl the toes. Press hips to heel. And this is where we can really press and really get a little bit more of a connection with the Uddiyana Bandha. Right? You're pressing the top of the thigh back. Now, the Jalandhara Bandha, the jaw one, pressing your head back. Your head isn't limp down here towards the floor. It's upright, and it's like someone is pressing the top of your head with their hand. Now take the bottom tips of the rib cage and you can begin to really feel the length through your spine. Press into your toes, press into your hands, lift your knees up and come into downward facing dog without moving forward. So that you're not compensating your back, you're taking the top of the thighs back. And walking the dog, one heel up and one heel down. A nice deep breath. Again, make sure that your head is in the action. That it's not just dripping down towards the earth, it's lifted up. Lengthen through your neck. Right leg lifts up, toes down towards the earth. Bend into the left knee. And breathe. Again, bring the rib cage up. Might take your leg down a little bit, but go for the strength. Go for strength. Nice deep breath. And straighten the left knee. Stack your hips one on top of the other. Keep your left shoulder in line with your right. That's a common situation where your left shoulder will collapse. Then come back to a three-legged dog. Bring your right leg down, back to downward dog, then to table. Let your knees go out, toes together, roll back, extended child, and breathe. Breathe a nice deep breath. Right into your spine. Right into the back body, back of the rib cage, back of your lungs. Let your body feel the relaxation of letting go into this spring morning. Just letting go into the energy of growth, moving out those cobwebs. And then inhale your way back into the table pose. Again, curling the toes under, pressing hips to heel. This is very active. We're kind of really pressing my hands away from my hips and my hips towards my heels, away from my hands. And then just kind of allowing for that deep sense of length through the spine. Press into your toes, inhale up without moving forward, getting a good long spine, taking the top of the thighs back. This time it's the left leg lifting up, you're bending your left knee. And just kind of notice whether that creates a little too much low back curve, and you're bringing your rib cage up slightly. You might bring your leg down, and that's all right. Good. Then you're stacking your hips one on top of the other. Straighten your right leg. Now notice your right shoulder wants to collapse. Lift it up. Let it be as high as your left. And rotate the torso. Dancing dog. Nice deep breath. Then release and come all the way back to center. Bring your foot down towards the floor. Bend your knees, and this time get a huge big low back curve. Press the hips up towards the ceiling. Get a deep low back curve. Sits bones up, then bend your knees and hop forward into an Uttanasana. Oops. Head down towards the earth. Arms swing out to the side as we inhale all the way up. Hands go to put over your head, down to your heart, and just take a nice deep breath. Good, nice deep breath. Cleansing breath, unlock your knees, let your feet, root chakras go deep into the earth. Let your heart rise. Let's bring in more of the light, more of the warmth into your breath, into your practice. Good, and then inhale, your eyes open. Good, then taking your block and bringing your block on the right side of your mat. Good. Letting your right foot come forward, left foot back, like we're doing Parvottanasana, the straight-legged runner stretch. We're going to move into Ardha Chandrasana. So you're going to bend into the right knee and then reach for your block with your hands lifting up. And again, stacking your hips one on top of the other, then adding your gaze to the side, adding your arm up. And again, unlocking the knee so that your energy is going right down towards your foot, your standing leg. And then to come out of this, turn your torso back towards the earth. Oops, here I am. There we go. Stretch and reach. Maybe coming to warrior three, lifting your hand up off the block, and then releasing back down. And shaking that out. There's a little bit of a surprise there. Block over to the other side. Take a nice deep breath. Left foot forward, right foot back. Just take a moment to settle. Get rid of that other side. Just kind of prepare yourself to clean your slate. To do this side, make sure sides are the same. Taking a nice deep breath. Going to bend into the left knee this time. Reach for the right, with your left hand, lifting your right leg up. Rotate your torso, stack your hips one on top of the other, add your right arm up. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Now, to come out, you're bringing your torso back towards the floor, stretching your right hand away from your feet, maybe adding your left arm up, coming into warrior three, and then all the way back to center. Whew, that's a workout. Shake it out. Yeah. All right, so taking your block, putting it in your center, going back to a Pasarada Padottanasana, feet wide, feet parallel to the short side of the mat. You're going to exhale forward, again, soft knees, strong feet. onto the block. And you're finding your length. Now, are you collapsing in the middle of the rib cage? Bottom tips of the rib cage. Bring it up. It's very subtle. You wouldn't even see it on me. Just very subtle, lifting up. And your head is in the game. So it's like someone is pressing the back of your head. So head's not just kind of drippy. It's out, extended. Left hand onto the block. Right hand onto the hip. Rotate the torso. Keeping the left thigh back. Don't let the left thigh come forward. Breathing in. Nothing like a twist in the springtime. Nice deep breath. Now, take your right hand, swing it down towards the floor, up towards your head. Instead of going up, if you're reaching it towards away from your hips. Remember, your knees are soft. Nice deep breath. Good. Release and come all the way back to center. Bend your knees, hands onto your hips, and inhale and come all the way back up again. Breathing in, breathe into the stretch. Remember, inner groins, keep going back. Knees are soft, feet are glued. Nice deep breath. Now, come back to halfway. Right hand is on the block this time, left hand on your hip. Your right hip wants to come forward. Keep it where it is. That's where you need your foot anchored onto the floor. Rotate the torso. No two sides are the same, so just get the rotation. Breathing in. Last thing is you're going to bring your hand down in front of your face and then away from your hips and stretching. Not up towards the ceiling, but parallel to the floor. Nice deep breath. Good. Then release. Come all the way back. Hands on either side of the block. Bend your knees, and I want you to find your head onto the block. And allow yourself to just kind of breathe into this supported headrest. Bend into the knees, inner groins, back. Move the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back so you're engaging the muscles around your shoulder blades. And breathe. Nice deep breath. This is such a nice pose. And for those that are watching the class, if you can go down towards the floor entirely, then do that. Or you want to do it at a slightly different angle, not so high. Bring it down a little bit further. You can change the angle of the block. Whatever works for you, whatever allows you to feel both supported and opening. And then release, inhale all the way back up. I mean, that's what happens to the flowers, right? They're supported, they root, they have to take the sun, they have to take the wind, and they blossom. Inhale and come all the way back up. Good. Heel toe your way back and shake that out. All right, so coming all the way onto the floor into the table position. Right knee is coming up into pigeon. Ekapavarajakapatasana. Nice deep breath. And you want to press your left toes back. We're going to go sideways here for a moment. Here we go. So here is the stretch. You really want to get a deeper stretch. Come higher up. Now and make sure your hips are squared, not up here, but squared, lifting up. And move the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back so you're not like rounded here. You're lifting up. Breathing right into the heart chakra, pressing your left heel back, maybe even lifting up your thigh, and pressing the heel back. Nice deep breath. And bring your knee move your block for a moment. Left hand in the center, right hand on your hip, and rotate. You see how your left hip wants to come down? Keep it back. Don't let it collapse in. Keep the twist right in your waistline, your torso. Good, then release. Come all the way back, hands onto the floor. Press back, downward facing dog. Fingerprints down, back of the palm knuckles. Do what feels right to you, maybe bending, sits bones up, or just allowing yourself to walk or be in dog. Again, you're not collapsing your shoulders. You're lifting up, pressing back. I like to bend my knees and get the top of the thighs back. It's always a good inner groin stretch for me. Nice deep breath. And I want to stay here long enough to catch my breath. What I mean by that is you're a little bit breathing heavy, and then I want you to find that deep breath. That deep breath in. Make a sound. Inhale and exhale. A little bit of a sigh. Sound is always good. Good. Then either you're going to come to pigeon from here or come down onto the floor, whatever way works for you. But this time it's the left knee coming forward, right heel back. I'm going to use my block to lift up a little bit higher and breathe. I don't want to have too much tension in my shoulders. I want to press my head up. Press down on the block, but lift my heart up. Taking a nice deep breath. And maybe lifting your right thigh up off of the floor, but take the inside heel of your foot back. And then release and come all the way back down. Take the block out. Right hand in the middle, left hand on your hip. And again, you're moving the head of the arm bone up toward the ear and back, and just breathing into the twist. Making it so that your right hip is not necessarily coming forward, it's staying back, and you're keeping the twist in your torso. Good. And then release. Come all the way back. This time, come to a table pose. Forearms onto the floor. Pressing down with the forearms. Now this might round your upper part of the back, which want to take the head of the arm bone up and back, curl the toes, lift up into dolphin, and make whatever adjustment you need to make so that you get a nice long spine, that you're not rounding your back forward like this. You're pressing back, bending the knees, taking the top of the thighs back, then the tips of the rib cage in. Just stretching and breathing through your body in dolphin. Oh. And then release and come all the way back onto the floor. And come onto your back. Good. Letting the knees come up into your chest. And just for a moment, you're going to have your hands on top of the knee and rotate in one direction and then the other. Good. Coming back to center. You can, this is an option. Option one would be to have your palms down onto the floor, your hips onto the upper part of your arm, your hands, and we're going to do water wheel this way. Keeping your toes together, spreading the toes, hugging muscle to bone, and then bringing your legs all the way down towards the floor. Don't let them hit. Before they hit, you're bringing them into your chest, and if you want to go a little more difficult, take your hands away. So that was protecting your lower back. Now we're saying that if you can protect your low back without your hands, just let your palms be onto the floor. You're gonna just once again bring your toes, your legs down towards the floor when they're parallel. Don't let them hit. Bring your knees into your chest. Lift all the way back up. Water wheel 2 more times. This is 1. Breathing into the stretch. Spread your toes, muscles to bones. And then knees into your chest. Lift all the way back up. This is the last time. Going all the way down towards the floor. And this time, when you're down towards the floor, bring your knees in. Hug them in. Let your left leg go straight out. Take your right knee out to the side and hold on to the outside of your right foot in half happy baby. Now here, hug your knee into your arm into your knee, and press the knee down towards the floor. Nice deep breath. You're holding on to the outside of your foot, but the inner big toe mound is pressing away from you. Just like we do in Upavista Konasana, little toe mound towards the ear, big toe mound away. Press knee into your arm into knee, just what we did in the beginning in the standing classes. Then straighten your leg. See if you can get a good stretch through your your hamstrings. Now, if holding onto your foot is not available to you, hold on to some part of your leg. Hug muscle to bone though, spread your toes and pulse your toes in. Nice deep breath. I'm going to hold on to my outside of my foot here because I want that little toe mound to press towards my ear. I want the stretch even through my hamstrings. Good, then take the leg out to the side, keeping the left hip down. Breathing in, come all the way back to center. Switch your hands so that now you're crossing your right leg over your left hip, keeping your right shoulder down. Your hips will stack one on top of the other. Let that happen. Rotate the torso. Inhale your leg all the way back up. Maybe pulse it a little bit more, whether it's behind the knee or to holding on to your little toe mound. And then release, come all the way back down. Woo-hoo! Other side. So we start is taking the left knee into your chest, right leg is down now. And you want to make sure, if we had sandbags, I put a sandbag on the top of my right thigh. Because teaching your thighs to press back is a journey. Yeah? It's a real journey. So you're pulsing in the knee towards your chest to begin with. This is your left knee. You're bending at the knee and holding on to the outside of the foot in half happy baby. Bring your knee into your arm into your knee, from your knee down to your hip. Bring some energy into there and press your knee down towards the floor. May not go down towards the floor, but you're just pressing it like it is. Nice deep breath. And then you're lifting all the way back up. Maybe holding on still to the outside of your foot or to the back of your thigh, but either way, you're pulsing the leg and you're holding muscle to bone, spreading your toes. So anytime you are stretching muscles, you want the muscles to be toned. Don't let them be loosey-goosey. The nice and holding on to the bone, hugging in, engaged. Good. Then you're going to let your left leg go out to the side. And again, you may be holding your outside of your foot, or your thigh, either way. Then you're inhaling all the way up and you're switching your hand over, keeping the left shoulder down. Nice deep breath. I'm holding on to my big toe mound here, just pressing in. Sometimes it has to do with length of legs and arms. It's going to determine what you're holding on to. Nice deep breath. Bring it all the way back up. Once again, pulsing, toes to head. Good. Then bring both legs up. Good. Nice deep breath. Hands out into an A or a T position, whatever feels better for your back. Your upper part of the back, your shoulder blades. You want your shoulder blades right on your back, and then palms up so that you're keeping your shoulder blades on your back, and you're swinging your legs to the right as one unit. Come all the way back to center, and then over to the left. Keep both shoulders down. Don't let them lift. And just one more time, come back to center. Legs over to the right, left shoulder is down. Use your core, spread your toes. Come all the way back to center and to the left. And then come all the way back to center. From here, let your arms go straight up overhead. Stretching, and now I'm going to take my legs down back into a water wheel, but this is a more difficult one. Hands over your head, stretch, there's a lot of core, and then release and come all the way down towards the floor. Good. Let your arms come back towards your thighs. Let your arms come back to an A position on either side of your thighs. And for a moment, just breathe. Let's take a nice, deep breath. Good. Breathing in. Not quite Shavasana time yet. To just feel your breath, feel your body up against the floor. And then bring your knees into your chest, arms out into the A position, palms up again. You're taking your knees as far as you can over to the right, keeping your left shoulder down. Come all the way back to center, and then knees in over to the left, keeping your right shoulder down. Then come all the way back to center. Hands onto your knee, and you're rotating around in one direction and then the other. And from here, put on whatever clothes you might need, and you're going to move into Shavasana, taking a nice deep breath. Let yourself feel the floor and your connection to the spring. When settled into the deep breath of life, water rolls like rain on a waxy surface, not penetrating the skin or dampening your spirit. So allow small movements to come back into your fingers and back into your toes. And let your knees float up into your chest and hug them in, gently rocking from side to side. Then rolling to one side and pausing for a moment as you breathe into your own inner landscape. And then bring your hands to prayer position. Rolling all the way back up into a seated pose. And together we will do one Om. So take a breath in. May we have peace in our heart and peace in our mind and true and everlasting peace and healing on this planet. Namaste. So thank you so much. Good. Let me just close this off. Don't go anywhere.